Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. We start with day 2 of testimony just wrapping up in the trial for the Sissonville couple who was arrested back in 2023 when 2 of their adopted children were discovered locked in a shed. Jeanne Whitefeather and Donald Lantz are facing charges that include human trafficking, enforced labor, and child abuse. Anna Saunders is live now right now with a recap of what happened in court today. Anna, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Anthony, today we started watching days worth of home surveillance video in the days leading up to when police came to the home on October 2nd, 2023. But in that time period before, we see that we have 2 children who are in a room in the Sissonville home and then 2 teens who are in that shed. And what we learned is that during that time period, they hardly ever left those spaces. And when they weren't sleeping on the floor, they were made to stand for pretty much the entire day. Now, we've learned in trial that Whitefeather and Lantz kept 1 security camera in the shed with the 2 teens and kept another in an upstairs room. This is where a 9-year-old and 11-year-old stayed with no furniture, just a tarp. The video is giving us a glimpse of their daily routine during this time period that started with them waking up at 4:30 in the morning after sleeping on the floor. In the shed, the 2 teens would hold up a sheet for each other while the other used the camper toilet. The rest of their days spent mostly in those rooms standing. At one point, when one of the teens sits down, Whitefeather then comes over the intercom on the camera and she stands back up. You also hear the younger kids ask for permission to leave the room to use the bathroom and brush their teeth. We've learned that the 14-year-old boy in the shed has several mental health disorders, as Detective Anna Pyle with the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office testified that his 16-year-old sister is there with him, served as his babysitter. This is her on the stand describing their sleeping conditions.
That the children in both rooms slept on the floor. The 2 in the barn area slept on the concrete floor with sleeping on a sleeping bag on the concrete floor, and slept with nothing underneath him other than a piece of cardboard under his head, and had a fitted sheet that he would cover up with. And in the bedroom upstairs, they would sleep on that plastic that I had mentioned, but they did have some blankets that they would cover up with.
Now, in terms of what they ate, in the videos, we see the kids given what's believed to be peanut butter sandwiches during the day, but very limited things to drink, if anything. At one point, Lantz tells the younger kids that if they don't finish the sandwich, they won't get anything else for the rest of the day. Now, trial is expected to continue tomorrow at 9 a.m., where the video will continue to play, and we expect to hear more from law enforcement, possibly maybe even the testimony from the children will begin. Anthony?
Anna, thanks a lot. And the bleeping that you're hearing in the video there at home, that's to mask the names of the children and protect their identities from court today. And Anna, we do know that as you watch the video of the 4 children in court today, Whitefeather and Lantz also had a 5th child. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. The youngest child is 5 years old, but by all accounts, what we've heard so far is that she was always with Whitefeather, the mother, and that she seems, by what we've heard, to be the favorite of the bunch, that she was not subjected to what's being alleged so far. We plan to learn more about some of the dynamics of the household as the trial moves along, especially when we hear from those kids. Back to you, Anthony.
To stay up to date with the top videos from our stations and information on upcoming events, subscribe to our weekly email newsletter at newson.us/sign-up.